Hi, gorgeous. This is episode number 80. You are listening to Heart Sells Podcast. I'm your host, Christine Schlonski, and as always, I am so super excited and pumped you are here, that we are getting to spend some time together. And again, I want to really thank you for being here, for investing your time, so that essentially you can become a heart seller. You can tune in to your authentic self, to be really true to your values while you are selling. And Variety Friday is a day where I share my knowledge with you of over a decade in high ticket event sales over the phone to CEOs, company owners, managing directors, like those people that could decide over an investment of a middle class car over the phone for an event, right? So I've done lots and lots of calls to acquire my knowledge. I've done sales training. I've done team building all over the world, supported people in Japan, in Spain, really had those conversations. When I started to connect my head and my heart, my numbers doubled and tripled, and I would love for you to get that too. So Variety Friday is a day where I am sharing, and I want to thank you for investing your time today to learn, to grow, to be inspired. Thank you so much for helping Heart Sells Podcast with the amazing ranking on iTunes in the business category. Just want to read out another wonderful rating that I received, a rating and a review, 5 stars obviously, from Dafish saying, Christine has a wonderful energy. She is a great coach and teacher. I love how she teaches tools for shifting our mindset into creating habits and behaviors that build our success. Beautiful show. Well, thank you so much. So please keep coming, the reviews and the ratings. Also, make sure you subscribe so you're always getting notification once the new episode is out, so I can support you on your way to really become a heart seller, to sell from your heart, to be authentic and true to your values. And I'm super excited you are here. And today is Variety Friday, so either me teaching resources or questions that you have sent in. And today I am going to answer a question in regards to follow-up sequences. This was sent in, and I think it's so important because what I have learned over the years is that the money is in the follow-up. And this is actually this is a reminder that I have in my calendar. And, I keep moving it from months to months. Yeah, then one day it just pops up again and reminds me that the money is in the follow-up. So that might be a really cool trick that you can use for yourself. So if you're selling something right now, you might be relaunching at a later time, or that you have a lot of conversations right now that did not really work out the way because the people were not ready, then put yourself that reminder into your calendar in a couple of weeks, in 5 weeks, whatever it is. And make sure you then go back to the people and to reconnect. So here's a really cool way how to do it. Because if you're just calling to ask if they're now finally ready to work with you, that might A, not be the way you want to show up, and B, it definitely will not feel good for the person because it leaves the impression that you are just there to ask for the money. Which you always will ask for the money when you ask for the sale or you invite them to buy from you. But there's such an elegant way to do that, and I would love to talk to you about that today. So before we dive in, make sure you hop on over to christineschlonski.com. This is your page for all the resources. So you have the Heart Sells Podcast tab. If you click it, you see all the podcast episodes, including all the resources we are talking about here on the podcast. It has show notes, it has key points, and it also has a transcript for you to have a look. And yeah, I just want to invite you to do that. There's also a tab where you could sign up for the empowerment notes. This is my weekly newsletter where I give you all the updates and I share knowledge that I usually do not share anywhere else. So being on that newsletter guest list is definitely something I highly recommend, because I'm giving you some more insights as a thank you for being on my list and for being really ready and committed to do more by giving more and by being more. So you can find that tab as well at christineschlonski.com. So let's dive right into follow-up sequences. For me personally, I believe I want to sell like I want to be sold to. So what do I mean by that? You probably can remember that you have had at some point an amazing relationship building experience with someone who sold you something. You know, when people approach me and it's just about the product or just about whatever they have to offer, usually it doesn't really feel too exciting for me, right? If it's not something that I really need then and there, like I'm not in the desert without any water and there's a person offering me some water where, you know, it's a no-brainer, obviously you would take it. But if it's something that I need to gain a little bit more trust in, I need to see more of that person, especially when you are in the high ticket space. That means the investment that needs to be made into your products, into your services is rather high. Obviously, the value is high as well, because you would never price where, you know, the investment exceeds the value. You always want the value to exceed the investment, so people are just blown away and they come back and they love you and they send other people to you. So when you are in that space, you want that connection. You want to be seen. We all want to be seen. We all want to know that we are loved, that we are taken good care of. So you need to provide that before. So we all have talked to people in our lives that felt ready, but then did not move on because they did not have the money or they were too afraid, whatever the reason is. So I would highly suggest to stay in contact. Not at a way where you call like every week, but, you know, at something with a healthy distance, that they know you are there for them. And I always say that in the conversations, if someone seems to be my soulmate client, that means soulmate client, you know, I would love to hang out with them. I would love to have them over for dinner. Like, I really could see spending time with them. And it's not just a business transaction, it is a relationship. Obviously, for online courses, it needs to be differentiated a little bit because you are not in control of who is buying them and who is not buying them. So I would definitely have a follow-up in a good, healthy way. So if it's someone who applied for your services, your higher level services that you actually had a conversation with, reach out to them once in a while. You know, just say, hey, I thought of you. I was wondering how you are. And then you always have gotten some information on the earlier call. So you want to know about these things. And I get it when you say, well, you know, I have a system and I write it down, and I understand that. But what would happen if you truly care? What would happen if you knew the name of their kid or kids? What would happen if you knew the name of their dog, if they have a dog? Like, how would that change the relationship? If you really go into deeper care and you show them that working with you will be the most amazing experience they could ever have in their life. What would happen if? So think about it, especially for the follow-up. How would you love to be treated in a way that's not too much, like, you know, person calling every day or every other day or once a week or whatever. So in a way that doesn't feel like you are pressured, but also in a way that doesn't feel like, oh, well, she's now ready for her next launch, and I guess that's why she's calling. Make sure that when you leave the conversation with a potential soulmate client who said no for whatever reason, that you let them know that you're there for them, and you let them know that you will be checking in. You can ask their permission. You could actually say, well, would it be okay with you if we have another conversation in 6 weeks, in 8 weeks, in 3 months? Have that conversation because you are committed. You want to have that relationship, and a relationship needs some work, right? It's like when you're going on your first date, well, usually you don't get married the next day. There is relationship building. There might be a date, then the next one in 2 weeks, and then you really liked it, so you have a date a week, and then you feel like you have to see each other twice a week or 3 times a week, whatever it is. So you build that relationship. You take it step by step. You don't usually jump into it right away, especially if there are some things in question you want to check out. Like the customer who did not jump in right away with you, who did not say yes right away, who were not ready, give them the time to evolve and to grow. So find a way to show them that you're there by providing amazing content. Help them to make whatever they need to do more successful. If they are stuck or struggling, give them a couple points that they can work on so they can move forward, even though they're not working with you. And then invite them back for the next conversation, right? So what I always do with my clients, I tell them a couple points to work on so they can really get to their next level, even if we are not working together. I want to provide that value because if they sell more with confidence, ease, and grace, if they win their next client, well, the next thing is they're back for more. And that time they, will buy the one-on-one coaching, the VIP coaching, or this time they will say yes to the course and they will find the money that they couldn't find before. But now the priorities for them have shifted. So if you really truly care and people will feel that you care, they will feel that in your energy, in your vibe, they will come back, they will seek you out. Some will take a detour and book with someone else because they might have been cheaper. But when you ask for cheap, you get cheap. So stay your ground, hold the space energetically, and hold the space for them to come back, and also be a little bit strategic in letting them know when you would love to tune back into and see if there is another opportunity to work with you. Because some people need longer in their decision making, and some people might really be in the situation where they just can't move forward. But when you support them with a little step, they will be grateful, they will remember you, and most likely they will come back to you because you are the go-to person. Some people will just observe you for months to see if you are walking your talk. So that's what I can give you on my thoughts about the follow-up sequences. And, obviously that's my personal opinion, but it has always helped me in whatever I did in my life to deeply care about people and to make sure that I show them I'm there for them. I show them that I walk my talk. Just going to give you one example of one of my clients way back in my early career as a salesperson over the phone. I had somebody that finally, after they booked, and that took them 2 years, they said they could not believe what I told them because it was too good to be true. So what they did, they kept saying no a couple times because they could just not see it. Like the thing I offered was just too good for them and they never experienced anything like it. But I kept at it. I kept holding my word. I kept going back and being there for them, offering them more information, showing them more success stories, showing them that I still existed in that position and that they could call me anytime. And then when they actually booked, they were so amazed. They were so happy that they said yes, that they worked with me 7 years in a row, never asking a question again. They just, kind of handed the check and we're good to go for the next offer that I made. So please know that sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but most of the time is well invested because people need to grow. And when you have a look at yourself, you see that sometimes you said no, even though you knew you should be saying yes. And then you regret it a little bit later. But if the person slams the door into your face because you said no the first time, you're not going to go back to that person. You're going to look for somebody else to support you. So always be open, hold the space, show them that you care and really care. Don't just make it up, really care. And then, things will work out. Just give it a little bit time and, one step at a time. So I hope this really, really helped. I'm looking forward to your comments, to your questions, to everything you would love to share with me. Write me an email. I would love to read from you. ChristineSchlonski.com is the page for all the resources, and the email you can write to info@ChristineSchlonski.com. I'm so looking forward to see you grow, to hear from you, to learn about you, and I'm sending you lots of sunshine from Germany. Bye for now. Have a wonderful time and looking forward for you to tune in, to leave a review and a rating. And thank you so much for all the support and the wonderful work you do in the world. Bye for now.